All right, Dave Gagnon here from Integrity Square, here with Justin Golden from Vida Fitness. Going to talk about the Prospect Wizard today. Justin, why don't you start out by talking a little bit about yourself, what you do at Vida Fitness, and also for people who don't know, a little bit about the club itself.
Yeah, I started with Vida Fitness roughly. It'll be about 2 years coming up here, and I want to say this coming month in June. And basically, I just set appointments for anybody who's interested to come in and get a complimentary workout, and then member advisors kind of take it from there and just kind of run with it.
Got it. So your title would be like lead gen, or what is it
Um,
exactly?
Actually, it's a sales associate.
Okay. Gotcha. And you've been with them for 2 years. So talk a little bit about Vida Fitness, price point wise, where, the level of club you guys are, that kind of thing for some context.
Okay. First, Vida Fitness it's going to be a little bit geared more toward the higher end of what would be a monthly membership. Like our biggest membership is going to start off close to $200 a month. That does include a penthouse pool. It is a yearly contract. Then we have two other options. It's like a basic membership or a core membership. We have multiple different locations that are, kind of packaged inside of those. The unlimited is going to include all access. And then the other two packages are going to not include every single location involved.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you're like at an Equinox or a Lifetime price point, get around there. You're up there.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. That's actually good. So let's jump in. Let's talk about the Prospect Wizard. On the back end, is it just you fielding the inquiries?
You know what? I think there might be a couple other people that kind of jump in and maybe help out.
Mm-hmm.
But primarily, yes, it
Okay.
is.
Gotcha. And talk a little bit about how it's been for you since you guys started using it. I think it's going on a year now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
actually, I think it's over a year.
Over
I
a
think
year. Okay.
I think in October it was our first full year.
Gotcha. So tell us about it. How's it going?
I mean, I tell you what, I really enjoy it because it helped me because I work remotely. So I'm totally outside the gym. I'm 4 hours away from Washington D.C. So
Okay.
it did really serve as like a good I want to how do I put this, like a training exercise for me to where I would get some billing questions, and it was kind of geared toward people want an answer like right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I kind of that was great for me to where I would kind of have to like research some things, look them up. So it was a great tool in that aspect.
Okay.
And then as far as one thing that I was really, really, I mean, I really, really love the fact that I was a little concerned before a previous job I had to where, you would serve as like an online chat person and whatnot, but you would get a lot of what, I mean, my associates called him an internet troll, which was a new terminology for me,
Okay.
you know. So I was like, I had no clue what that was. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, well, it'll be like spam, the same thing as you would get in your email. It'll be somebody jumping on trying to give you a link to go here, to go there, to try to sell their products.
Right.
And I didn't, you know what? I have never run into one of those instances at all in
Love
almost
it.
2 years. I mean,
That's
so I
that's
don't
great.
know, how you guys have it hooked up on your end, but I've never had any issue with like a problem where there might be like a phishing contact or a link that was involved in that would cause problems internally for us as a business.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, it's built on top of Twilio. I don't know if you're familiar, but Twilio is a publicly traded company, and they're the biggest one. So, like, I'm a marketer, so I nerd out about this stuff. So, developers, if they're using an SMS application like this is, then they typically build it on top of Twilio. They're just a monster company. And of course, there's maybe some problems here and there. Every once in a while, I'll hear from another client, like you get a troll. But then there's a block feature, as you're well aware, in the system. So you just hit block, and they won't be able to use the widget anymore. But let's talk numbers, man. Have you? I'm sure you've converted people into memberships and stuff like that from this thing, or
Yes, yes. Each quarter, I mean, I'll go back through everyone. There are,
uh,
there's times on our end where we'll have. Sometimes they might fill out with, they can request online through our website a visit, and then they'll request one as well through
right?
through the widget.
Okay.
Um, so the only thing that I'll do is just double check to make sure that they're not already there. And then once they agree to it, then I just enter them into our system, and then they're in there, and we're automatically set up to where we can call them for 76 straight days. So that's a huge feature to where it helps to where we're not just adding people to where it just might be somebody who's having a basic question on price, to where then you put them in the system and then they're getting annoying calls, which makes us look bad.
Right.
So I do like that aspect to where it's kind of separate, to where it gives us the opportunity, or basically just gives me the opportunity to say, if this person is not totally interested, then I don't have to enter them into our system, but I can still answer their questions.
Yeah. You warming them up. Yep.
Yes.
You're warming them
And
up.
then at the same time, I get a notification on my cell phone, which I do like a lot, because once I respond to them, I can respond to them off my cell phone.
Yep.
And then they can just communicate back and forth with me until they are ready. And
Yep.
then I can put them right in the system. So it
That-
kind of
yep.
keeps what I like. It keeps an old saying, there isn't too many hands in the cookie jar, basically. Because a lot of times I've run into instances in our own system to where there might be fictitious names, like there might be Bob and Sue and Jane and myself are all communicating with this person.
Yeah.
And if we're not leaving solid notes, then things can go awry, and then you can just I've seen it to where it'll just go totally left.
Yeah.
So you left turn, and you're like, what, we kind of lost on that one.
Yep.
This way, that person can just be straight with me, one-on-one, and I can just kind of work it with them the way that they want it. And the conversion rate is really solid. If I could have the time to actually go through them and separate the people who are already a member and isolate them, put them outside and put them into like a pie chart.
Yep.
I would say, a good 70 at the low end, 75, but I would say probably anywhere between 75 and a solid 88 to 90% join.
Wow, man, that's incredible.
They definitely are going to. They're definitely. How about this? That would be on my side to where I'm scheduling them.
Yeah.
Then I'm kind of like handing the baton over to the member advisors who have to close the sale. But yes, if I cut out the members, by far, it's an easy task.
Man, that's a super high number, and that's great to hear. And actually, I was talking with another guy who uses this, the Alaska Club. His name is Trent. He's their marketing guy over there. And I'm curious to hear your answer to this question. You're a high-priced club, just like the Atlanta Club, just like the Alaska Club. How do you handle when someone hits the widget, texts in, what are your prices? Like, how do you handle that pricing discussion? What do you do on your end?
A lot of times, basically, I will give them the link to our website.
Okay.
But a lot of times they've already visited the website.
Okay.
So they just might have a question as far as pricing in regards to a fitness class and whatnot.
Okay.
So what I will do on those instances, a lot of times if it's on the unlimited side, our highest option, I know they're basically talking about a sweatbox class. So I will go ahead and give them a complimentary visit. Hey, you want to try one of these out? Sure, whatnot. And then they jump on them. And then, once you just give them something to come in for, the price kind of will take care of itself. It's kind of like, you're like, you just want to get them in the door, basically.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And the back end, you hit at it earlier, like you said, well, it goes into this system. What does your tech stack look like? You got the prospect wizard on the main page. Then what happens? What's the back end look like? Are you guys on ABC, or what do you use?
Yeah, we're on ABC. Yeah.
Okay. So use ABC. You got the prospect wizard. Is there any sort of we integrate with Zapier, which integrates with everything. You said you silo the two, which is frankly what a lot of our clubs do, and then manually you put it into ABC when you're ready. Is that how you work it?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
Right.
What I do too is I have just a side Excel sheet to where each time I get a widget that comes in, I will go ahead and just copy paste that and throw it in there, because that's what my manager kind of wanted me to keep track of that, and then send it to her like at the end of every quarter, end of every month.
Okay.
I'll just keep track of how many appointments I've actually set from that. But
Yep.
I've logged every single question that I've had over 2 years. So I mean,
Wow.
I have every single. And then what I'll do is, if they are a member,
Hmm.
I mean, I will go ahead and pull them up to be like, let's double check. So we have what's called like a data track. So
Okay.
I'll throw their phone number in there, and if they pop up, I'm like, ooh, they're a member. So
Yeah.
I would just copy and paste their message to me, and then I'll tag it in our system as online widget,
Yeah.
and then put their question, and then put my response, and then that way a team member can pick up to where, if it leads off and there's a note of everything that kind of goes, keeps a nice flow.
You already answered one of my other questions. Like I'm constantly telling people, use the tagging feature because your
Yeah.
database is going to get big pretty quickly, especially if your website has traffic. So talk a little bit about how you guys at Vida use that.
As far as the tagging of them, it'll be I'll just tag like online widget, and then
Uh-huh.
if it's billing, I mean, I would just put right off the top, because a lot of times their message will say what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I have a billing problem, so I put their exact words, what their message was to me, and then below I'll just type response, and then
Right.
whatever my response was, I'll just type it right in there.
Gotcha. Gotcha. As far as anything else, like you guys don't make use of, I'm pretty sure that's all from the ABC side, which is what a lot of our clients do. But do you guys do any text blasts or automations through the automation builder or no?
Yeah, they do that on our internal website.
Okay.
They'll send them out that way. Now, I have kind of wondered, possibly, like, we have what's called a week of wellness that's going on this week.
Okay.
If there was a way to where we could maybe generate more business
Hmm.
to, like, say, take the last quarter of people who have had a widget question or whatnot,
Right.
and maybe they didn't even schedule, or even if they did schedule, it really doesn't matter, because it's a free fitness class.
Right.
If we send them that message, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the tool has that. Obviously, it's got a broadcast feature, so it's totally on you guys if you wanted to segment those people out. But how that actually you mentioned you went in that direction anyway. What's the response been from the members and or the prospects about this thing? Do they think it's a bot initially? Are they surprised that it's a real live human? Like, what's the response been at
Um,
the?
actually, I've only maybe had a couple times that they've ever asked if it's a real human. You know what I mean? I mean, I really have. I mean, a lot of times I think they kind of know, but it might be the way that I try to be a little more specific,
Uh-huh.
and I make sure that I'll restate their issue, kind of to where they know it is an act. They're like communicating with somebody who's real.
Right.
I mean, because you can kind of tell, when it's like, this is, can I please have your question? What was
Yeah,
that
yeah,
again? I'm
exactly.
here to
Right.
help you. I'm here to help. Thanks for this. I mean,
Right.
I'll just go ahead and whatever their question is. I mean, I've always kind of been more not, I don't want to use the word blunt, but it's like, hey, you know what? I don't want to waste their time. I mean, if I'm on that end, I wouldn't want somebody wasting my time. So
Yeah.
whatever the issue is, it's like, you know what? I'm going to tackle it right now. Let's get to the point. Let's go.
Right.
Like a
Yeah.
one contact type resolution.
Yep. Absolutely. And as far as some like tips that you might want to suggest to current users, you got any little like hacks or things that you've come up with that makes your life easier or something that you might suggest to other users of the system?
You know what? I always make sure that I go ahead and repeat their name. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I always start off right with their name immediately. That
Right.
way, I think that kind of gets their attention a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are certain times if it's a billing issue or something like that, I will let them know, like, hey, this might take a little bit of time, but rest assured, just cute little phrases like that. Rest assured, this
Uh-huh.
is my primary contact number.
Right.
You can feel free to reach out to me. Here's my hours, and I will gladly get back to you. So,
Awesome.
like I will kind of white glove this issue all the way through if it's a problem. So, right there it is. Save my
Yeah.
number for future reference. And I mean, a lot of times I've had my manager was kind of like, oh, I don't know if you want to let people know if that's your personal number. I'm like, you know what, man, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I mean, because one thing is, I'm not going to leave you hanging.
Yeah.
And I mean, I will. I mean, I kind of try to pride myself on, hey, I'll follow through until the end.
Yeah.
If I don't know the answer, I'm going to find it for you.
You actually don't give them the Twilio number. You give them your own personal number.
Yeah, because when it was first set up, I didn't, my manager kind of set up. She said, "Well, you're going to get an alert. So anytime that anybody has a widget question or a phone call, it comes right through my cell phone."
Right. On the app, you get a notification and then you get a little bubble in the app. Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll get it right on my phone where there it is, and then I get an email as well in my work email address.
Yep.
So a lot of times I have been fortunate, and they're like, you know what, man, that might be the long way to go about it. But I was like, it was launched kind of like that on us, and I got used to it.
Okay.
So I love just going right by my cell phone. I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Because I can jump right in there. There it is. Their phone number's in there. I'll just I have an Android, so I can just copy and paste it with the little stylus.
Yeah.
Put it in a brand new text and then send it right to them. And I think that is what really kind of grabs their attention, because it's like, whoa, I'm getting a real response from somebody this is a real number. You know what I mean?
That's interesting. So you're actually not communicating in the app. You're actually communicating on your own personal cell.
Yes. Yeah. Call it crazy. I mean, call it crazy. I mean, which that was the way it was kind of explained to me. It was like, Justin, you're going to get these notifications on your phone, and you can text from your phone, so just respond to them through your phone. I was like, you know what? Hey, I'm fine with that.
But for everyone else listening to this, just so you know, this, Justin. You could communicate with that individual in the app, right? So
right.
You communicate with them in the app. It'll obviously be on your desktop as well. All those conversations will be in your system. But if the disadvantage is if you do it on your own personal cell, they have your own personal cell, and you can't see those conversations on the desktop. You can only see those conversations on your phone. So that's the disadvantage,
Right. But see, it's to where most of my conversations won't even go more than 2 messages. Like I said, I years and years ago, this is kind of funny. I started at 2000 with Amazon.com when they were just a books and VHS. So, and then luckily I grew with them, and I just kind of still kept that mindset of we always want to try to answer everything within 2 minutes and be one contact resolution, to where give everybody everything that they need in one answer. Let's not make it too long, but if you think that, hey, this might be a follow-up question after you answer this one, just throw that in there as well. And then, you know what? Luckily, I've knock on wood. Luckily, I've not had anything really go more than two messages back and forth.
I muted my mic there because I'm in New York City, so the sirens. But yeah, listen, hats off to you, man. You sounds like you're crushing it, and you obviously know the system. You're just choosing to use your personal cell, and that's great. A lot of people will do it on the app because if they they can then go back on the desktop and see the conversations. Talk about real quick the other people in the system. I know you said it was mostly you, but for the people listening to this interview, what are the other folks involved? I know it's Aaron, right? He's the account owner, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it just Aaron? I can't remember.
Yeah. Aaron, I think he, if there was a major issue or something, I'll go through my manager and she would get a hold of him.
Okay.
We just really haven't had any. Now there are a couple managers like at the gym that because my shift ends at 4.
Uh-huh.
So if something kind of sneaks in after that, You know that I've seen to where Michelle, she's answered a couple of them like
Okay.
right there. You know, like and she'll just same thing. She'll just put online widget,
Yeah.
and then there it is. But
Right.
the majority of them, if it comes in like say late 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because ours runs 24 hours a day.
Yeah. The widget's always there. Right. Right.
Right. I mean, you know, some people are like, oh, you know, maybe you should turn it off or whatnot. I mean, it's fine. I mean, because the next morning, if it comes in, I just immediately grab it, and it's a simple thing. You know what? Hey, apologize for the delayed response. You know, your message kind of came in like after my shift had ended. However, boom, here's your
Yeah.
answer, and roll with it.
And you're using, I mean, I believe you're using the autoresponder too. You know, like they get an automated response like thanks for tech. I don't know if it's on or not. Thanks for texting Vida Fitness.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I kind of I just actually have what I call like a small little blurb directory,
Uh,
you know, that I use. And then but mine are more personal. So I'll kind of just change a couple little things, you know, like, hey,
right.
thanks for using our online support system, you know, like via
Right.
the widget at Vita Fitness,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
just kind of roll right from there.
Nice, man. Nice. So we'll close up the interview here. Would you recommend this for other gym owners?
Oh, I absolutely, totally would. I mean, it is. I mean, number one, like I said, it was great for me because it helped me get more out of it because I work remotely.
Yeah.
So it kind of probably cut down on a lot of training sessions that I might have to have.
Yep.
Plus, I'm kind of I like to think outside the box a little bit, and I don't like to be just programmed to do the same thing. So the widget gives you you can change gears. If
Uh-huh.
you like to change gears and go from doing this to a billing question, then to a marketing question, then to a referral program, setting everything up. Yeah, I mean that that it keeps you busy. My day totally flies by,
Right.
and it does. I mean, it generates business.
That's
You know,
that's we rename
I've
well.
had I've had. I mean, what's funny is I've had a couple instances to where people were planning on moving to DC.
Okay.
And I'd say, well, okay, here's the pricing, and we started off with a widget, and they would say, I'd say, well, when are you planning on moving? And they say, well, I'm not planning on moving, for the next say couple months. And I mean, it's a long shot, you know what I mean? Where you say, yes, sure, go ahead, get a hold of me in a couple months, whenever you get settled. And
Uh-huh.
mentally you're thinking, nah, no way, this person's
No
never
way.
going to
Yeah.
do it. And you know what? They do. I mean, they'll come back and be Justin. I don't know if you remember me. And I'll be like, you got to be kidding me. You know what I mean? But that is, and I mean, I think that's what helps separate. You can sell your products at a higher, rate than everybody else is when you have something like this,
Yeah.
to where it makes it more personable. But as long as you just don't, keep it, as long as the person is responding is more specific, and recognizes that person, and then they're like, hey, I'm not, calling like the 800 number and getting press 2, press 3. Somebody is jumping on my issue right away, right now, and I'm getting it handled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the wizard is really really cool. I mean, I do.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and you see, they're constantly updating the product, and there's that voice note feature now. Real quick on a nerdy marketing side, you you have a marketing director, or is that Aaron's role?
That would be we do have a market. We do have like a corporate marketing director.
Okay, and do they work with this at all, or they just work aggressively to push website traffic to vitafitness.com? Like
Yeah,
that,
they they push that way.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I tell people if it's not a busy website, this is a nice to have, not a need to have, right? But
You know what I think would be cool, and I'm not trying to jump over anybody, but I think if we could have it to where if we could put our promotions like on the wizard, you know what I mean? Like if our marketing person could get a hold of you and you could add that, like this is this, like if we could have it, here's what we have coming up this quarter, like this month, say in June, here's our promotions. So when they would log on to go to the wizard, they could click which ones they wanted to participate. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
100%. That's,
Yeah.
put me in. I only have been in touch with you and Aaron, so I don't think I've ever been in touch with your CMO. Typically, I'm in touch with both the CMO and someone in sales because it's super
Right.
important for both, right? So after this call, maybe do an intro to the person in charge of marketing, and I'll talk with him or her and show him or her what this could do, because I don't ever recall talking to that individual, which is a little odd because it's marketing and sales
Yeah.
go hand in hand, right? They should be on this, right?
Listen, I'm with you. I mean, yeah, David, I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know, but I mean, hey, if you are cool with that, I mean, I think like you should add the marketing on there where you could click on this if you want the free like guest visit. If you want to take this group fitness class, click this, click that. I think it would gear it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just
Whenever, 100%. Whenever I do an onboarding call or even a sales call, like who's interested in the wizard and we jump on a quick call, I always encourage someone from sales, because sales guys they're like this. They get it. They're like, this is a no-brainer. Speed to lead, as the terminology goes. Speed to lead.
Yeah.
The faster you connect with a lead, the higher percentage you're going to have of closing. Sales guys or girls get that like that. Marketing also tends to get it. So when a salesperson and a marketing person is on the call at the same time, very few people say no to at least kicking the tires on this thing. Like it's an easy lift for me to get this on a gym's website when there's a sales and marketing person on the call. They just get it. So I appreciate that. Our job is to maximize your use of the product so your needle can continue to move. So definitely hook me up with them, and I'll keep you in the loop on that. And we'll see if we can't kick it up a notch or two for you guys. That's
because I think it would just be beneficial. They could say, hey, here's a free week, here's a free trial, click here, click there. And then even at the point to where it could even come up to like you could send this link to your friends,
100%. Definitely make that happen, and I'll jump on that ASAP. But as far as speed to lead, conversions, moving the needle sales wise, clearly it seems to be working for you. That's why we called it the Prospect Wizard. And you guys are not a low price club. You're a high price, high volume, high amenity club, and it's doing what it's supposed to. So I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, I mean it is. I mean it covers at first, when we first had it, I remember because it just took a minute or two for me to kind of get used to it. I remember between me and a fence post, my manager's like, let those billing questions kind of go away and stuff. And I was like, man, you know what? I mean, you don't want to, just my opinion, but you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I mean, then you get people leaving your club, bad mouthing you, and da 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 da. Yep. So I was like, yeah, okay, I will, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, you know what? Then I'm going to use this thing as a trend. Now I breeze to the billing questions and everything else to where you're not going to lose people. So there's a key thing. I looked at your questions earlier too, so that's might be a point or two as well.
What's that?
Is like, when people can use it for any type of a question, like a billing question.
Right.
I've caught one person before that what they did was they were trying to submit a downgrade on their membership, and they accidentally kind of clicked, and it went into what's called pending cancellation process.
Okay.
To where when it starts in that process, it's automated, and they can't stop it on their end.
Uh-huh.
You see what I mean? So then that would stop. That might have to force that person to it'd be canceled, and then I knew there would be confusion. Like they have to go back to the club. Then they're going to say, no, you're a new member. You got to join this fee here, this fee, that fee. And that's going to be a confrontation with somebody.
In the ass, yeah.
Right. When they submitted it, I was like, well, do you realize that your membership's in pending cancellation? They were like, oh, no, I didn't want that.
Yeah.
We were able to catch it. We were able to catch it because of the wizard.
Love it.
I was like, hey, no worries. I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I just put in a request. We can stop it.
Right.
So clearly, I didn't tell them like, because it ended up saving them from having to go back through all those fees and everything like that. And then, saved us from probably catching some flack online.
Yeah, exactly. Because people never say good things; they only complain.
No, it's
Unless you ask for testimonials, unless you ask for someone to say something nice, they're not gonna. So that's good. That it sounds like it's definitely doing a bit of customer service functionality as well. So that's great.
yeah. I mean, I totally think it is definitely very good for customer service, like in that situation, to where you could stop something from the automated process, which would create havoc on both sides. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, you mean now I'm a new member and I got to pay another 150 and choose these things that I don't want, blah blah blah. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, so you could stop that automated process a little quicker this way.
Awesome. Well, listen, man, I took up enough of your time. You gave us a great testimonial, some great food for thought for current users. Is there anything I might have missed that you want to add, or
No, I think we're good. I mean, I will definitely work for you and get the marketing people involved and stuff like that for you, David. I promise.
I listen, whatever we could do to help you maximize the tool, to help you continue to move the needle and keep people happy, keep you happy, because I'm sure you're in a sales position. You probably work on some sort of commission basis, right? So whatever we could do to help, that's why we're here, man. So thanks again for taking the time. And as always, reach out. I got you.
I will. Hey, you know what? We need some middle relief help in the bullpen. You know what I mean?
Help with the Yankees. I see, I can't do that. And,
I
say
mean, I'm
the
like,
same.
I'm like, you know what? I mean, hey, we need to get back. Remember the '90s when we could just go ahead and the starter goes six, and
Yeah.
you could hit the exits and be like, the game's over, game's done. You know what I mean? It's over.
Yeah. Well,
You knew Mariana was going to close in the ninth. You know what I mean? But you had who did we pick up from the Seattle? Oh, the big lefty, Wetland. We need a John Wetland.
okay.
We need some middle relief. We can't be getting beat by the Twins. I mean, come on.
You're still a Yankee fan, and you're down in the D.C. Maryland area, so we'll let that slide.
Oh, I always when I was a kid, I wrote a letter to Reggie Jackson when I was like 8.
Oh, really? Do you
Yeah,
get
man,
anything back?
he sent me back a autographed photo.
That's cool as hell. That's great.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it. Listen, man, thanks again, Justin. Really, really great talking to you. It's good to finally put a face to the name after all this time. And I'm here when you need us. All right, have a good rest of your day. Take care.